Welcome to the Executive Summary. Jeff Hoffman, co-founder of Priceline.com, and David Finkel, a renowned business coach, bring their combined expertise to show leaders how to build a scalable business, not just a bigger one. If understanding the difference between growth and true scalability is the edge you're looking for, like this video and subscribe now. Let's get into it. Most leaders believe loyalty is earned through results. Jeff Hoffman and David Finkel spent decades studying the world's most successful, scalable businesses and found the opposite is true. True scale is achieved not by working harder, but by systematically building a self-managing business that operates effectively without the constant, direct intervention of its founder or leader. To ignore this principle is to condemn your organization to perpetual founder dependence, limiting its growth potential, stifling innovation, and ultimately, trapping you in the very operational demands you sought to escape by building a successful enterprise. Your career progression, the stability of your team, and the long-term viability of your vision all hinge on transcending this operational bottleneck. By the end of this analysis, you will possess a clear, actionable framework for transitioning your role from a perpetual operator to a strategic architect, empowering your business to grow beyond your personal capacity and liberating you to focus on true leadership. Authored by a serial entrepreneur who built Priceline.com and a Wall Street Journal best-selling business coach, Scale distills real-world experience and proven methodologies from countless successful enterprises into a pragmatic guide for sustainable growth. This is the blueprint for creating an organization that thrives independently, allowing you to lead its future, not just manage its present. In the dynamic and often chaotic landscape of modern business, the concept of scale frequently evokes images of relentless effort, extended hours, and an ever-increasing burden on the shoulders of leadership. Many entrepreneurs and executives, having successfully navigated the treacherous waters of startup and initial growth, find themselves ensnared in a new, insidious paradox. Their very success has become a cage. They have built thriving businesses, generated revenue, and assembled capable teams, yet they remain indispensable to every operational detail, every critical decision. This perpetual involvement, while initially a strength, ultimately becomes the most significant impediment to further expansion, threatening both the stability of the enterprise and the well-being of its leader. It is precisely this pervasive and debilitating challenge that Jeff Hoffman and David Finkel address with profound clarity and practical insight in their seminal work, Scale. Published in 2017, this book emerged as a landmark text, not merely offering theoretical constructs, but providing a tangible, actionable roadmap for leaders trapped in the operational vortex of their own creation. Hoffman, a serial entrepreneur whose ventures include the co-founding of Priceline.com, brings the invaluable perspective of someone who has not only built and scaled multiple businesses, but has also invested in and advised countless others. Finkel, a Wall Street Journal best-selling author and CEO of Maui Mastermind, complements this with his extensive experience in business coaching, having guided numerous entrepreneurs through the complexities of growth. Their combined expertise forms a powerful synergy, grounding the book's strategies in both the live-ed reality of entrepreneurial struggle and the distilled wisdom of effective business transformation. Scale is not simply another book on growth. It is a profound redefinition of what scaling truly means. It posits that genuine scale is not achieved by working harder or by merely increasing revenue, but by systematically constructing a self-managing business. This self-management liberates the organization from its dependence on the constant, direct intervention of its founder or leader, thereby freeing that leader to focus on strategic expansion, innovation, and long-term vision rather than the minutiae of daily operations. The book resonates deeply with a broad audience, from ambitious small to medium-sized business owners grappling with the complexities of their first significant growth spurt, to seasoned executives within larger corporations seeking to implement scalable systems. It speaks to anyone who understands that their organization's potential is currently capped by their personal capacity and who yearns to break free from the cycle of operational firefighting. Its central argument is both liberating and challenging. The path to true scale requires a fundamental shift in the leader's role, from being the primary operator to becoming the architect of a self-sustaining system. This transition demands a deliberate dismantling of personal bottlenecks, a systematic documentation of processes, and a strategic empowerment of teams. By offering a meticulously crafted framework, Scale demystifies this often overwhelming process, transforming the abstract concept of growth into a series of manageable, executable steps. It equips leaders with the elite-level knowledge required to build an enterprise that not only grows, but thrives autonomously, allowing them to reclaim their time, amplify their impact, and realize the full potential of their vision. This is not merely about making your business bigger. It is about making it stronger, more resilient, and ultimately, truly free. The conventional wisdom dictates that as a business grows, the leader must simply work harder, longer, and become more involved in every facet of its operation. This perspective, however, is precisely what traps countless leaders in a cycle of diminishing returns and escalating personal cost. Scale fundamentally challenges this assumption, introducing a transformative concept, the freedom formula. This principle asserts that scaling is not about doing more. It is counterintuitively about doing less of what drains you and more of what only you, as the visionary leader, can genuinely contribute. The core imperative is for leaders to intentionally design their role, evolving from a perpetual operator to a strategic architect, focusing their energies on vision, strategy, and culture. Hoffman and Finkel articulate that the default trajectory for many leaders is to remain mired in the doing of the business, the daily tasks, the problem-solving, the direct oversight of every project. This hands-on approach, while vital in the nascent stages, quickly becomes a bottleneck to growth. The freedom formula encourages a rigorous self-assessment, identifying a leader's unique genius, those specific contributions that only they can make, that drive disproportionate value, and that align with their highest passions and skills. Once these unique contributions are identified, the mandate becomes clear: delegate everything else. This isn't merely about offloading undesirable tasks. It's about systematically building processes and empowering teams so that the business can run effectively without the leader's constant, direct presence. This strategic disengagement from operational minutiae frees the leader to work on the business, shaping its future, exploring new opportunities, and refining its strategic direction, rather than being perpetually consumed in its daily grind. Consider the transformative journey of Steve Jobs at Apple, particularly after his return to the company. In the early days, Jobs was deeply involved in every detail, a hands-on operator. However, upon his return, his role profoundly shifted. He focused almost exclusively on the overarching product vision, the design philosophy that would define Apple's aesthetic, and forging critical strategic partnerships. The operational execution, the intricate supply chain management, and the day-to-day running of the vast enterprise were systematically delegated to a highly capable team, most notably led by Tim Cook. This intentional design of his role, focusing on his unique genius for vision and innovation, allowed Apple to not only recover, but to scale exponentially, becoming one of the most valuable companies in history. Jobs wasn't doing more. He was doing less, but doing what only he could do at an unparalleled level. The challenge for you, as a leader, is to confront your current operational entanglements. What critical tasks are you presently undertaking that someone else on your team could, or indeed, should be handling? How will you initiate the process of delegating these responsibilities this week, thereby liberating your unique leadership capacity to focus on the strategic imperatives that only you can address? This is not about relinquishing control. It is about strategically reallocating your most valuable resource, your time and unique insight, to where it will yield the greatest return for your organization's future. A common misconception in leadership is that business growth is a linear, predictable progression, where applying more effort consistently yields proportionate results. This perspective often leads to frustration and misallocated resources, as strategies that were effective at one stage suddenly become obsolete or even detrimental at another. Scale rectifies this by introducing the profound insight that businesses do not grow linearly. Rather, they progress through predictable, distinct stages, each demanding a different leadership focus, specific strategies, and tailored systems. The critical understanding for any leader aspiring to scale is to accurately diagnose their organization's current stage, as this diagnosis is paramount for applying the most effective and appropriate growth strategies. Hoffman and Finkel meticulously outline 7 distinct stages of business growth, beginning with startup and progressing through to enterprise. Each stage is characterized by unique challenges, opportunities, and operational requirements. For instance, a startup is typically characterized by a heavy reliance on the founder, a lack of formalized processes, and a primary focus on product-market fit and initial revenue generation. In contrast, an enterprise operates with highly formalized structures, distributed leadership, and a focus on optimization, innovation, and market dominance. The authors emphasize that attempting to apply enterprise solutions, such as extensive bureaucracy or complex reporting structures, to a startup problem will inevitably lead to stifled agility and unnecessary overhead. Conversely, trying to run an enterprise with the ad hoc, founder-dependent approaches of a startup will result in chaos, inefficiency, and a rapid descent into instability. Effective scaling, therefore, hinges on a leader's ability to accurately identify their organization's current developmental stage and then consciously adopt the leadership style, operational frameworks, and strategic priorities appropriate for that specific stage. Consider the divergent paths of a fast-growing tech startup versus a mature regional bank. The tech startup, perhaps in the growth stage, is experiencing rapid customer acquisition and revenue expansion. Its leadership focus must be on formalizing core processes, hiring specialists to manage increasing demand, and building out initial departmental structures. The challenges are often around maintaining culture amidst rapid hiring, managing cash flow, and scaling infrastructure. Applying the lean, agile, and often chaotic methods of its startup phase would now lead to drop balls and missed opportunities. Conversely, a mature regional bank, likely in the maturity stage, faces entirely different challenges. Its focus is on optimizing existing operations, enhancing customer retention, and identifying strategic innovations to maintain market share against agile competitors. Attempting to manage this bank with the informal, founder-centric decision-making of a startup would be catastrophic, undermining its regulatory compliance, financial stability, and established customer base. Each organization, at its respective stage, requires a distinct set of leadership competencies and strategic interventions. The critical challenge for you is to objectively assess your organization's current position within these 7 stages. Which stage most accurately describes your business today? Once identified, what is one specific leadership challenge that is uniquely pertinent to that stage? And how will you strategically address it to ensure your efforts are aligned with your organization's current developmental needs? This diagnostic clarity is the foundation upon which all effective scaling strategies are built. Many leaders, particularly in the early stages of growth, operate under the belief that they must personally oversee every critical function and make every significant decision. This approach, while born of dedication, becomes an insurmountable barrier to scale. Scale powerfully argues that an organization's capacity for growth is ultimately capped by the strength and structure of its leadership team. True scaling necessitates a deliberate evolution beyond individual contributors to the construction of a robust organizational framework characterized by clear roles, defined responsibilities, and unequivocal accountability, thereby empowering teams to operate with a high degree of autonomy. The authors emphasize that merely hiring talented individuals is insufficient. The true art of scaling lies in structuring the organization such that key functions are not only covered by competent leaders, but are also empowered to make decisions and drive results without the constant, direct oversight of the top executive. This is the essence of building a team of teams, a decentralized yet cohesive structure where leaders within each functional area possess the authority and resources to manage their domains effectively. This approach transforms the organization from a hub-and-spoke model, where the founder is the central hub, into a distributed network of empowered leaders, each contributing to the overall strategic objectives. Without this structural empowerment, the founder remains the perpetual bottleneck, and the organization's growth will inevitably stagnate at the limits of their personal capacity. A quintessential example of this principle in action is General Electric under the legendary leadership of Jack Welch. Welch famously prioritized the development of a deep bench of leadership talent and meticulously crafted a clear organizational structure. He empowered business unit leaders to take significant ownership of their respective markets, granting them the autonomy to make critical decisions and drive growth within their specific sectors. Welch's role shifted from direct operational oversight to that of a strategic coach, talent developer, and cultural architect. This decentralized, yet highly accountable, structure allowed G to manage an incredibly diverse portfolio of businesses, each operating with a high degree of independence, yet all contributing to the overarching corporate vision. This strategic empowerment of leaders within a robust structure was a fundamental pillar of GE's vast scale and enduring success during his tenure. The critical challenge for you is to scrutinize your current organizational chart. Where are the critical gaps in leadership or accountability that are currently creating bottlenecks, preventing your organization from achieving its next level of scale? Are there key functions that are overly dependent on your direct involvement, or areas where capable individuals are present but lack the authority and clear mandate to truly lead? Addressing these structural deficiencies is not just about filling roles. It's about strategically empowering your team to drive collective growth. One of the most insidious traps for growing organizations is the reliance on tribal knowledge, the unwritten rules, undocumented processes, and individual expertise that resides solely within the minds of key employees. While this can foster agility in early stages, it becomes an insurmountable barrier to scale, creating inconsistency, hindering training, and making the business dangerously dependent on specific individuals. Scale offers a powerful antidote to this: the imperative to systemize everything. To truly scale, every critical process within your organization must be meticulously documented, rigorously standardized, and made repeatable, thereby transforming ephemeral tribal knowledge into robust institutional knowledge. Hoffman and Finkel champion the creation of playbooks for all core business functions. These playbooks are not merely a collection of instructions. They are comprehensive guides that detail the step-by-step procedures, best practices, decision-making protocols, and expected outcomes for every repeatable task, from the initial customer interaction to the final product delivery. The benefits of this systematic approach are multifaceted. It ensures consistency in quality and service delivery, significantly reduces errors by eliminating reliance on individual memory or interpretation, drastically simplifies the onboarding and training of new employees, and most importantly, makes the business dramatically less dependent on any single individual. By codifying operational excellence, playbooks transform the organization into a predictable, efficient engine for growth, capable of replicating success across multiple teams, locations, or product lines. The most iconic and enduring example of systematic excellence is McDonald's. Ray Kroc, the visionary behind its global expansion, understood that the true genius was not just the burger itself, but the meticulous standardization of every single process within the restaurant. From the precise temperature for frying potatoes to the exact time a patty remained on the grill, from the customer service script to the cleaning protocols, every aspect of the operation was documented and made repeatable. This obsession with systematization allowed McDonald's to replicate its success across thousands of locations worldwide, ensuring a consistent customer experience regardless of where or when one visited. The business was built on a series of playbooks, making it resilient, scalable, and independent of any single operator's personal method. The challenge for you is to identify one critical, repetitive process within your organization that currently relies heavily on individual discretion or undocumented knowledge. This could be anything from your sales qualification process to your client onboarding sequence, or even how internal meetings are conducted. Commit this month to initiating the documentation of its playbook, transforming an informal practice into a codified, repeatable system that can be consistently executed by anyone. This is the first step towards building an organization that can truly scale without you. For many leaders, the concept of delegation is fraught with apprehension. It's often perceived as either an abdication of responsibility or a risky gamble that tasks won't be completed to the desired standard. This hesitation creates a significant bottleneck to scale, as the leader remains the primary doer rather than the strategic enabler. Scale provides a crucial reframing. Effective delegation is not abdication. It is, in fact, the profound act of empowering others with both responsibility and commensurate authority, meticulously coupled with clear expectations and robust accountability mechanisms. Hoffman and Finkel acknowledge the common pitfalls of delegation. Some leaders micromanage, hovering over every detail, effectively negating the purpose of delegation. Others simply dump tasks, providing insufficient context, resources, or guidance, leading to inevitable failure and a reinforcement of the leader's belief that it's just easier to do it myself. The authors provide a structured approach to effective delegation. This involves clarifying the desired outcomes with absolute precision, ensuring the delegate possesses or is provided with the necessary resources and training, defining clear boundaries of authority within which they can operate, and crucially, establishing regular check-ins and performance metrics. These mechanisms ensure accountability without resorting to constant hovering, fostering a culture of trust and competence. The goal is to empower team members to own their results, learn from their experiences, and grow into more capable leaders themselves, thereby distributing the leadership burden and accelerating organizational capacity. Consider the example of a senior pastor delegating the launch of a new community outreach program to an associate pastor. Instead of dictating every step, the senior pastor articulates a clear vision. We aim to engage 200 new families in our community through this program within 6 months, focusing on educational support and local partnership. They provide a budget, a timeline, and access to key community contacts. The associate pastor is then given the autonomy to design the program specifics, assemble a volunteer team, and execute the plan. Regular, pre-scheduled meetings are set to review progress against key metrics, for example, number of families engaged, partnership agreements secured, budget adherence. During these check-ins, the senior pastor offers support, guidance, and removes obstacles, but refrains from micromanaging the day-to-day execution. This approach empowers the associate pastor, develops their leadership skills, and ensures the program benefits from their direct energy and innovation, all while maintaining strategic alignment and accountability. The challenge for you is to identify a task you have been holding onto for too long, a task that, while important, does not require your unique genius. Who on your team possesses the capability or the potential to take this on? How will you intentionally empower them this week, providing not just the responsibility, but also the necessary authority, resources, and a clear framework for accountability, thereby freeing yourself to focus on higher leverage activities? This is the deliberate practice of building a self-managing organization, one empowered leader at a time. While Scale primarily focuses on operational and leadership strategies for growth, it integrates a critical financial principle that scaling efforts must be underpinned by robust financial health and a proactive approach to profitability. Many growing businesses fall into the growth trap, where increasing revenue masks declining margins or unsustainable cash flow. To counter this, the book advocates for the proactive implementation of the profit-first methodology, ensuring that profit is prioritized from the outset, rather than being treated as a residual afterthought. Hoffman and Finkel recognize that rapid growth can often strain financial resources, leading to a precarious situation where a business appears successful on paper but is perpetually short on cash. By incorporating Mike Michalowicz's profit-first principle, they provide a powerful mechanism to ensure financial stability during expansion. This methodology fundamentally shifts the traditional accounting equation from sales minus expenses equals profit to sales minus profit equals expenses. It mandates that a predetermined percentage of all incoming revenue is immediately allocated to a separate profit account. Only after this allocation are funds distributed to owners' pay, taxes, and operating expenses. This ensures that as the business grows, its profitability grows proportionally, preventing the common scenario where increased sales merely lead to increased expenses without a corresponding increase in actual profit. It forces financial discipline and ensures that the very act of scaling contributes to, rather than erodes, the organization's financial strength. Consider an entrepreneur rapidly growing a consulting firm. Traditionally, all revenue would flow into a single operating account, and expenses would be paid from it, with profit being whatever was left at the end of the month or quarter. Under the profit-first model, this entrepreneur would immediately allocate, for example, 10% of every payment received directly into a dedicated profit bank account. Another percentage would go to a taxes account, and so on. This means that when the time comes to pay operating expenses, the entrepreneur is forced to manage within the remaining budget, rather than spending indiscriminately and hoping for profit. This disciplined approach ensures that even during periods of rapid expansion, the business remains financially healthy, builds a cash reserve, and avoids the perilous growth trap of increasing revenue without a corresponding increase in actual realized profit. It transforms profitability from a hopeful outcome into a non-negotiable input. The critical challenge for you is to examine your current financial management practices. How are you ensuring that profitability, and not just top-line revenue, is a primary focus and a guaranteed outcome during your organization's growth phase? Are you proactively allocating funds to profit, or are you simply hoping it materializes after all expenses are met? Implementing a profit-first mindset is not just about financial accounting. It's about embedding a fundamental principle of sustainable growth into the very fabric of your organization's financial operations. The principles outlined in Scale are not theoretical constructs. They are actionable strategies designed to fundamentally transform your leadership and your organization's capacity for growth. To translate these insights into tangible progress this week, focus on these 3 deliberate moves. The first move is to reclaim your strategic time. This week, immediately block out 90 consecutive minutes on your calendar. This block is non-negotiable and dedicated solely to working on your business, not in it. During this time, you are forbidden from engaging in operational tasks, answering emails, or attending to urgent daily demands. Use this dedicated period to engage in high-leverage activities that align with your role as an architect, not an operator. This could involve strategizing your next quarter's growth initiatives, beginning the documentation of a critical process, or meticulously planning a key delegation. The objective is to create a consistent, protected space for strategic thought and systemic improvement, breaking the cycle of perpetual operational reaction. This is your personal commitment to the freedom formula. The second move addresses the bottleneck of founder dependence. Take an honest inventory of your current responsibilities and identify the 3 tasks you regularly perform that, while important, could be effectively delegated to someone else on your team. These are tasks that do not require your unique genius or strategic oversight. Once identified, choose one of these 3 tasks to initiate the delegation process this week. This involves clearly defining the desired outcome, outlining the available resources, and setting a clear expectation for accountability. This isn't about simply offloading work. It's about intentionally empowering a team member, providing them with an opportunity for growth, and systematically reducing your operational burden to free up your capacity for higher-level leadership. This move directly applies the principles of building your A-team and mastering delegation. The third move is to begin the vital work of systematization. Select one repetitive, critical process within your organization that currently relies on individual knowledge or inconsistent execution. This could be anything from the precise steps for onboarding a new client to how a specific type of customer inquiry is handled, or even the agenda and follow-up structure for your weekly team meeting. Your task this week is to begin documenting its step-by-step procedure. Outline the key actions, decision points, and desired outcomes. You don't need to complete the entire playbook immediately, but the active starting of transforming an informal practice into a codified, repeatable system is paramount. This initial step towards creating a playbook is a direct application of the principle of systemizing everything, laying the groundwork for consistency, efficiency, and true scalability. The insights presented from Scale offer a profound pathway to liberating your leadership and accelerating your organization's growth. If you found this analysis valuable, we encourage you to engage further. Please take a moment to press the like button below this video. Your engagement signals to us that this in-depth content resonates with your leadership journey. For continuous access to premium leadership insights and strategic frameworks, subscribe to the Executive Summary. By joining our community, you ensure you receive meticulously researched and actionable intelligence designed to elevate your leadership capabilities. To guarantee you never miss a critical episode, activate the notification bell. This ensures you are immediately informed when new analyses are released, providing you with a consistent stream of high-value content. Next week, we will be dissecting another foundational text in leadership, exploring the profound impact of. Remember, true leadership is not about doing more. It is about strategically building an organization that empowers you to lead its vision, not merely operate its daily functions. Your time is your most valuable asset, invested in building systems that multiply your impact. Mastering the art of scaling is crucial for any leader. If you found these insights from Scale valuable, subscribe to the Executive Summary and hit the notification bell for more essential book insights.